Welcome to the BOP, the BLERD official podcast. I am one of your hosts, Karan Ashley. We are so happy you are here. You are safe. I mean, this world has been crazy. We've had eclipses, we've had earthquakes, we've had everything happening. Oh, guys, how are we doing? Hilton George, how are you? How is life? Did you survive Puerto Rico? Did you survive Puerto Rico?
I barely survived Puerto Rico. I don't know if you've ever been, but I went to this place called the Pork Highway. And it is it's up in the mountains. Your ears start popping when you go up there. And I mean, you saw the pictures I sent. They got like just pigs on spits and rice and plantains and
all the food.
I was like, listen, I was trying to.
You ate a whole pig while you was there, didn't you?
I was trying to, but they made me get up.
They're like, you must go. You had your fair share.
You got your one plate, sir.
One piglet per person.
One piglet.
Oh my God.
It's awful.
Kept looking like Farmer Hoggett with grease on his lips.
Yes.
But we going back though. The Puerto Rico Comic-Con, we'll see the BOP. I'm working to manifest that.
Work it. I've got my passport ready. My bag is packed. I'm ready.
You don't need nothing but a driver's license. That's a state,
it,
girl.
Right? That's right. We in America.
I'm like,
yes. Okay, Christi Renee, how you doing? You coming to Puerto Rico or what?
Look, I'm already there. I'm already traveling, so I might as well. I'm close by. I'm down in Dallas, Texas, so I might as well make my way. Make my way on down. I'm ready.
Friend Christi, I like your new friend. What's her name?
Girl, we ain't even named her yet.
Anastasia.
Anastasia. That's actually a good one. I like Anastasia.
There you go. She looked like Anastasia. She tired
today. She tired today. So we ain't gonna take too much of your time, y'all.
I need her to look alive when she comes on the BOP. When she makes her grand appearance on the BOP, I need her to look alive.
The bangs is banging. As long as the bangs are still banging, we good.
Yeah.
Bang.
They're all black women now. When they go to Texas, they go do the Beyonce sing.
Yes.
It's gonna be in everybody's voice.
Texas holds them. We hold them all.
Forever. Changing the game.
Baby back, bangs.
That part. That's it. When your bangs.
I've been canceled by Hilton.
My God. When your bangs got a whole song to themselves, got sound effects.
Baby bangs. I don't know. Yeah. I gotta work on it. I'll have it tight.
Tweak it a little bit.
This is what I deal with in person, y'all. This right here. It's right here.
This
is it.
This is it.
All the time.
Here it goes. Guys, oh my God, we had an earthquake in New Jersey and the world was acting like the world was over. It was people were doing memes and they would be like, my earthquake damage, and their phone had dropped.
Yes.
Report damage, and it'd be like one pin is out of place.
Long furniture just on one side.
Yeah.
A spilt drink.
There's the damage.
There it is.
You got knocked over. You got knocked over.
Never forget.
Never forget. Oh my God.
All of us in California were laughing. But you know what? They're creepy though. They're super creepy. And it was a 4.8. So it was definitely something you felt. It wasn't like, you were like, what the? And it lasted for like a minute. So they're real creepy because there's nowhere you can go. Like you can't like run outside. You can't like hide under a bed. You can't, all the things you would do in like in a tornado or any other natural disaster, you can't do in an earthquake. So I know it kind of weirded people out. And then there was a series of aftershocks. Did you feel it in DC? Because I mean, they said it went all the way down to Philly, and like I didn't know if it made it to you, Hilton.
I didn't feel nothing. I saw it on the news, and I was like, oh, okay, And when I saw where the epicenter was, I was like, oh, that's why ain't nobody see it. Because it was in that little it was like a little butt crack of right. Now the places like Cherry Hill and Philly and New York, those population zones felt it. but like where the full blown epicenter,
yeah,
it was like, 14 people that were like right there. And so, I was like, oh, that's why, like no buildings fell over. Ain't no buildings over 2 stories the way they had. Like that's
right.
It's just Al-Qaeda couldn't even fly a plane in enough in Paramus, New Jersey.
Oh,
but my point is,
my gosh, Hilton.
My point is,
go to your corner.
my point is that yes, we don't get earthquakes here. So any shaking is earth shattering for us.
Yes,
I know y'all in California get like full blown. Like, spill your Rice Krispies, stuff going on over there.
Yeah, wake you up out your sleep sometimes. I've had that happen. Woke me up out of my sleep. Christi, you weren't in New York. I mean, you lived there and you left.
You're supposed to be reporting live.
You're supposed to be live on the scene. It's Christi Renee for the BOP. That's what you were supposed to be doing.
Child, listen, I woke up the next day, I got here, and then the next day is when it happened, the next morning, and I'm like immediately, well, first, it's crazy when the first thing you see are the memes, right? So I'm like, wait, what happened? So I naturally go and Google, earthquake, and it was like, okay, trusted sources, there it is. I call my child, who is still there. Heaven is there with Sebastian. Look, I forgot my oldest child is also there.
Not about the boy, just the girl. See, she got favorites. She has favorites. It's now documented on the BOP.
It just depends on what day
y'all can get in touch with us. We will send aid.
send thoughts and prayers. Yes.
Thoughts and prayers for you boys. The 2
She
boys.
was like, I thought it was the construction across the street. I was like, well, what kind of they just building a house. It can't like move all the ground. She was like, yeah, I just didn't realize it. But yes, I felt something significant. She was like, I was reading. I was just in my zone with my headphones on, and I was like, oh, okay. Same way she was with, everything else on yesterday.
See, it's different on the East Coast. I've been in one earthquake in Maryland. This was like 10 years ago. And it was the plates were rubbing up against one another. So it was like this vibration. But I know you guys in California, I've actually been in small quakes with y'all. Yeah. It's different. It's like a swaying. It's like you feel like somebody's doing this.
Stuff moving. Yeah.
And that's the scary stuff. Like, wait a minute.
Like we've got shelves. We've got shelves like drilled into the wall because it will sway,
I just feel like the ground should never move. Like, remember the scene from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when there was an earthquake and they got stuck in that round? I am him. The ground ain't supposed to move at all. Like, that's the only stable thing. You said it when we opened up. Like, it's so crazy to know you can't go anywhere unless you jump on a hoverboard and you can just hover above the madness. But we can't do that. You can't escape it. You can't go anywhere. That's literally the rock that we stand upon.
And that's the creepy part, It's but so thankfully it was nothing major. I just need to know, did you guys even watch the eclipse yesterday? I mean, was I the only person who could care less? I was literally in the airport and like these women were like, let's run to the window and see. And I was like, I don't want to lose my seat. I just was like, I was in the American Airlines lounge and I did not want to lose my seat because I had a plug, right? I was like set up. I don't care. Like people were going all out. I know people educated, very like they they bought plane tickets and hotels and went somewhere to see it. So it was shocking to me that anyone would plan a vacation around this.
Well, I'm in Dallas and they said 1 million people have shown up just for because Dallas was one of those 4 positioned cities, I guess, in the US that you could catch the best, optics. And
is that why you went there, Christi? Is that why? You just keep
she had a Rice Krispie box.
I did. I got glasses and everything.
Is that why your eye looked like it's a little burnt?
A little bit.
How many fingers am I holding up? How many fingers? Follow my finger, but don't move your head. Follow my finger.
Like the middle one.
This one. That's all I see. I know. Hilton already messed up the show at the top of the hour, so whatever. I ain't even.
I'm go no lower.
It really can't go no lower.
Don't challenge him. It could go lower, but we won't.
All I'm saying is, all I'm saying is,
yes,
I wasn't interested in watching the son do blackface for 5 minutes.
Oh God.
I'll let Billy D. Williams handle that.
Billy, throw the towel in. I'm just throwing the towel in. I don't want no parts.
Yes,
I didn't want to see.
I don't want no parts.
Guys, like, did you hear about the quote?
Expressed.
Did you hear about Billy D yesterday and his whole like? He doesn't care if actors do blackface, and he was just like, people should be able to do what they want to do. I'm just like,
wait, go back. I'm sorry. Please start from the beginning.
This happened like 2 hours ago. You didn't.
Yeah.
I have no.
Yeah. Well, he was getting interviewed somewhere, and they asked, somehow it came up in the conversation, and he basically tried to justify white actors doing blackface. And he was like, when they did Laurence Olivier and blah, 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 or something, like he brought up something really old and was like, that was a work of art. And I don't care. It's funny and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, but I mean, he's old, guys. Like, I mean, he's like near 80. Like, maybe he's losing it. I'm just going to chalk it up to old age, because I just can't imagine Billy D and like the barriers he had to break as a black man, black actor. Like he was doing movies. He was acclaimed by the culture, the community, and now you're like, come on, Billy D, we need you to just
somewhere there's a misquote. It's got to somebody missed.
No, it wasn't a misquote.
Punctuation.
No, it was him. Like it was like, it was like, he said it.
Listen, Quincy Jones got his daughter right off camera for every interview, because when you get in your 80s, your filter starts to fade away, and you start telling people business. You start saying crazy out of left field stuff. And if you watch the last 2 specials on Quincy Jones, you'll see how he was like, I'm like, yo, you ain't supposed to be talking about people like that. Yo, chill.
He didn't care.
This is the same thing with Billy D. I think Billy D's filtered. I mean, I feel like he said what was on his heart at that very moment.
Yeah.
Right. Without a care.
All of the stuff that, he's like, well, you asking me this question. I don't care. This is how I feel at the moment. And maybe was not in that mental position to just step back and look at the big picture on something you sprung on him. Like, if he had like the questions in advance and could run it by his people, he might have had a different answer. But I think he was just, look, we all got that 80-year-old. Listen,
I think about
you
myself
got somebody.
Even.
Yeah, you got people in that age group. They don't care. They're like,
and you know what's sad? I think they are like, maybe, I don't know, maybe he's at an age where he's tired of fighting. Like he's just like, or maybe he never really cared. Maybe he never wanted to be that actor that was like, he just wanted to be an actor, and he just got some cool roles, and he wasn't trying to change the world. He was just trying to, like, I don't know. But it was disappointing. Yeah, it was disappointing to hear from someone like him who's, I don't know. I'm just going to be
I don't think it's indicative of who he is. I think he said something unfortunate that people who don't know his body of work, particularly young people under 30, 35, they might decide to go off on him because they're not really that aware of his resume and who he is. But I don't know that that's like where he is in his heart. I feel like he, in that moment, like I said, I got 80-year-old people. I don't spring nothing on.
Yeah, I was
I might get an FU.
I was like the Stranger Things kids going, Lando, it's Lando. He's turning on us. He can't be Lando can't be trusted. Remember Stranger Things when they were like, this new Hopper was gonna turn on him. That's why I was like, Billy D done turned into Lando for real.
Lord.
I know.
Crazy.
Deep sigh. Oh, another headline. I know, deep sigh. Another headline making thing was, our boy, we reported on this before, Jonathan Majors. You guys know he had his whole court trial. He was found guilty.
What's new, Lord?
I know. Well, he was sentenced he was sentenced to probation and no prison time, and he's going to do therapy for a year, and so, which I think that was fitting for the crime. Like a lot of people were outraged in some comments and stuff, but I was like, he wasn't accused of like first degree assault. Like he didn't do that. Like I think people just see, like, how the headlines are. They're like, he's convicted of assault. They don't say like the actual thing. Like he was convicted of the type of assault that could happen if you had an accident, and he, she, obviously got some sort of something happened to her when they had their altercation. So whether they never said he hit her, did anything to her, but something happened. So I thought that's fitting. And I think it's like one of those things like where it's like, he's going to domestic violence programming. So it's like, that might be something that could be good for him. Anger management might be a good thing for this because he obviously has some things. Like he's highly excitable.
Unresolved.
A lot of people have complained about him.
Unhealed.
Yes. So I mean, I'm all for it. I was actually so happy they didn't try to make an example out of him for a crime that was very low level. Not excusing it. I'm just saying, this is what it was, and the time fit the crime, right? It was it all made sense. So
this brother's paid the price in any calculation. I mean, I think this brother's whole career has been stripped from him. He is the most toxic hot potato name in Hollywood, persona non grata for real, coming from the highest height you can find. And I mean, not even contextually speaking, outside of context. This brother 2 years ago was teed up at the highest height you can put an actor in career to this.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, a year in prison, what's that gonna do, that hasn't already been done? This brother's pocket's been hit. His career, his name, and you're right. I was happy because if it had not been mandated, he might not have done it. Right? Now my question is now that he done slid by and not gotten no prison time and has gotten the outcome that he's hoped for from a PR perspective, he's where he need to be. When they breaking up?
Ooh.
Look, is he composing the text message now?
I don't know. Yeah, because that relationship
this has been wonderful.
I know.
However.
Yeah. This is the thing. It was so convenient, right? It was so PR friendly that we all should question it. I would question myself if it was something like that, right? It was just too convenient. So I mean, I don't know. She just last week she was commented as saying that she was the happiest she's ever been. She felt the best. She was in the best shape. She just was in love and So I hope for her sake it's real. And he's not that wasn't his black right. That wasn't the black woman
just sitting here.
Hired.
This is a digital media, but you can smell something. She look at her face.
I'm just sitting here.
I want to know what that face. I want to know what that scrunchy face means. Please translate.
Probably because my wig is in my eyes. I don't know.
She blamed
you gonna put it on Anastasia.
Anastasia
yeah, she's
my bangs, girl. This is my bangs. This is not. This is not my
bye.
Now y'all know how much I love me some Jonathan Majors, and I'm rooting for him in hopes that he gets all the help he needs and deserves. I don't know. And I hope what he and Megan are having is there something authentic and genuine with it. I know. I sure would hate to see it.
I want to be wrong too. I want to be wrong.
I do. I want you to be wrong. I want you to be wrong more than I ever wanted anything. I do. A lot of times.
This particular moment, there's a sincerity and love in our hearts.
There's love in our hearts, guys.
There is. It is. It's such a love. That's how we can be so crazy.
Yeah. Because she's been dragged for standing next, just propping him up.
It's something about us. Again, there's always a larger conversation to be had when it comes to things like this. And it is very difficult because I'm a known gatekeeper at times. I just feel like things that we created, culturally should be, we can't be cheering everybody on because they can do, the bankhead bounce or some shit. You know what I mean? We just we get way too excitable over things sometimes. And I'm like, whoa. This is one of those in relationships and in this story, because we've seen when it's most commonly when an actor or an entertainer of melanated culture gets into trouble.
Yes,
it is typically at the and it's over publicized and overly judged. It is that counterpart is on the flip side of the melanated culture. Does anybody follow? Is anybody picking up what I'm putting down?
I am right there.
It's so facto. Jeez.
I understand the words that's coming out your mouth.
On my face, honey. Listen, I just think I hope for his sake that they are having something really real and genuine, and he is learning how to compare and contrast his experiences with people in that dynamic. And what that means, what it looks like, what it looks like when it's good and happy and fruitful and plenty, and what it looks like when it ain't, on the dark side of that, and just be able to see, because if they have a falling out, I can't imagine it going to a certain extent, because that's not the. Anyway, I digress. Y'all know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've met Megan and she's lovely. So I pray that
all of this is out of love for Megan. Like we start with
protect her at all costs.
We know Jonathan's gonna be okay with Jonathan. It was Megan that we're like, okay, please don't be the Stepford wife in this scenario.
Right.
And what I had said, half joking, but I'm still kind of only half joking. Is that it would have been really even more authentic if he had got with like an ugly woman. I feel like people would have been like, okay, that's real love. She had his back, like somebody who was maybe in his circle, like her stylist, makeup artist or something.
But
Megan Good is like one of the top 5 baddest sisters to ever cross the screen in the last 20 years, right?
No question.
So we all automatically are kind of like, we're already on our heels and kind of like, wait a minute now, don't mess this up. Now this is the Megan Good. Like, you can't, So I think that's where we're coming from, because we care about her. Yes. And we're not sure what's going on with him. Right. Everybody here got a cousin or a sister or auntie or somebody to bring somebody home. And you're kind of like,
and they were both in vulnerable positions, because I mean, remember, like she had just gotten divorced, and he just went through hell and back, and it was a trauma bond. Yeah, and it's one of those things where you just hope that they, and she's talked about, where she is and what she's doing in her life, and so I really hope that that's what it is, because it seems like she's really trying to heal and move on, and she's very supportive of him. She's only said wonderful things, and I mean, you really, like, he's going through hell and she's like literally going with him to the courthouse every day, so that's something, and any backlash that she received, she didn't deserve. I mean, you want somebody to support you, right? You want somebody who's gonna ride with you, and she did. So we just hope, we just hope it's all good. But
let's hope that part of the therapy is where
he's going to therapy.
He learned how to fix his face when he hugging him on his way. His face ain't quite where it should be.
He looks really sad. Like he looks just down every time I've seen him.
You should be like, this Megan Good, and she always looks like a 10, and she's right here, and he kind of got that. My mama made me come to the prom with her look on his face, and you're kind of like, Jonathan, come on, brother. Look to your right. Look just to your right. She's right there.
We got to get some references. We got to find. Next time, you got to present some evidence, some discovery in that argument. Because I got to see that.
Look,
I want to see it on the show.
Put the pictures of his face when they take the pictures.
We're going to take a deep dive into this. Let me find some pictures.
It's just, you're kind of like,
he's like this, like,
you need to be happier for that, bro.
Yeah. I just think he's unhappy in his life. Like, it's almost like I'm over here with my lotion. I'm like starting talking with my lotion.
Look, if you're gonna call the brother Ashley, just say it. You ain't gotta be symbolic with it.
I just think I don't even know where that came from. But anyway, I think he's just like, it's like almost like he's never been like the smiley guy. Like, he's never been that dude. But he just, I mean, this has been heavy, and it's like heavy. So I think a lot of that has to do with that. I would imagine.
And they already call him, civil rights fine. So, just think about the era in which his fineness comes from.
Canceled you. You got canceled.
He just has a strained face. His emotions are strained, and maybe that's all it is.
Well, that intensity that we loved on screen was really like for real. That brother was angry. Oh, but on to bigger, better lighter things, our assignment was to watch the latest Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and we all went. Hilton, he's he's got a whole baby, guys. Like, this puppy is a whole baby. Like, he had to get a sitter just to go to the theater. Like, this is like, Hilton, I am proud of you. You have really taken this on.
I've become such a dog dad. I had to stop myself. I was thinking, like, do they have movie theaters for dogs? And I'm like,
oh my God.
No, it's like the one thing no dog could do is sit through a movie. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, no, shut up. That's stupid. I got to get this dog to somebody who can feed it and take out.
She can't be at home at all. Like, she's still at that stage.
Well, okay, all right. So you're the second person to burn me about that today.
Because I'm like,
you ain't got burnt yet. I'm coming. Right. I ain't even. I'm just revving up because I'm about to tackle this.
Yes, all right. So I don't know if anybody out there in BOP land is a dog owner, and I'm talking not like a dog that you inherited, but like a dog you've had since 9 weeks, and you're like the only human that's ever fed him, that kind of thing. But that's what I got. And my dog is in love with me. My dog goes to sleep looking at me like this. That kind of thing, like really, like creepy stalker love. If it wasn't a dog or a human, you'd be like, we need to chill.
It's everything you've ever wanted and needed, isn't it?
So yes, she is totally fine being crated. She's totally crate trained. I've got a fenced in yard, whole 9 yards. But the problem is that I'm gonna be gone for 4 hours, and that's gonna overlap a meal she's gonna miss. That's gonna overlap.
How much does this dog eat? Overlap a meal?
Three times a day. She's growing 2 pounds a week. She's 36 pounds. She was 28 pounds last month.
Are you creating?
She's a Rottweiler. She's gonna be 125 pounds before she stopped growing. So she, so missing a meal.
By the way, has had huge
150. Feeding her like that. Yeah, that's crazy.
I just felt like, because my sitter is maybe 0.5 miles from where the movie theater is. I was like, I can just go ahead, drop her off.
This is the most un-black parent.
I'm not that guy.
Caucasian right now with your dog loving.
This is mighty white of you, Hilton.
This is a black-owned sitter. It's called Puppy Love. A black woman owns it, and she's got this amazing setup.
We're talking about you.
I know. We're talking about you.
We're talking about you, not the dog sitter.
So what we gonna do when the edit comes out, because this is live for us. When the edit comes out, BOP community, we're gonna put some pictures of my dog Nala up, and you can see this dog is the most gorgeous dog that has ever been born.
For sure.
And I'm bringing some Sebastian, because we're not gonna sit here.
We need some Sebastian. Close-ups.
I'm telling you.
Close-up. Zoom in on the close-up of Sebastian right now.
This is the closest I as a man come to having a daughter that is a 10, and everybody want to come up and talk to and pet her and call her perfect and play with her.
I really cannot right now.
Hilton,
and I'm just sitting there like,
so
this is
gone.
Sunken place. This is like sunken place.
What am I going to do?
Christi, please break him down.
I mean, first of all,
Christi had a dog that was like as big as a horse.
I had 3 of them.
Yeah,
I'm telling you now, like, that is the craziest thing that I think I hear people when they say, "Oh, the sitter," and I'm like, "When did you have a kid?" And of course, they're talking about their pets. Now, I love my pet. My dog, my kids' dogs, which are my grandbabies, my grandpuppies. They call me Mimi. I'm their Mimi. Because my children don't have children, they have their dogs. So I'm in it. I'm here on blackpeoplepets.com. That's me.
Yeah.
My kids, they got wardrobes. We got toothbrushes. Oh yeah. Sebastian got a whole wardrobe. His winter wear. He got shoes. He got to put on to go outside. But who is never who's not getting a babysitter for my dog? Like, I'm going to a movie. That baby gonna be in the kennel. And you're gonna eat when I get back. You're gonna be okay. I think it's beautiful, but I just want you to. You're like the first parent, honestly. When you get like another one, or you get or this one, will really start getting on your last nerve, because they will get on your last nerve too, just like a human child.
How you gonna go on a date, Hilton? Like, I mean, you may have
how you gonna have a life? Somebody, I got to get home and feed my dog.
This is my life. What are y'all talking about? Y'all overestimate my social life. Only place I'm popular is when I go to cons.
Everybody.
He's canceled all the cons.
Everywhere else I go, I'm anonymous.
To take care of
nobody know his baby.
Nobody know who I am.
First
of all, Pop family. What y'all don't know is we only see each other at cons. So at cons, we all got our level
canceled.
But we never at like some casual place, like at somebody's house type stuff. We all we are in that con space, and that's just where my social life is. Just so happens to be. I woke up one day, and that's how it was.
Well, we will let you make it. Yes,
I applaud you because you love that baby, and I think that's beautiful, and we need more of that.
He tries to distract us too with Nala. He's using her as a weapon,
and
he won't do his homework, and he'll be like putting Nala pictures in there and be like, "Look at her."
But it works. But that's the headline.
I told him, like, he's distracting you, Christi.
Yeah, it works.
He's distracting you. It didn't work on me.
I got caught up.
I will just
got caught up. I did not.
I'm
not a dog owner, so I see through them
just
lies.
Like with Jonathan Majors, the true test of my character as a dog owner is when I get an ugly dog. When I get an ugly dog, that won't cannot be used to get me out of my deficits as part of the box.
Somebody get him out the box.
That's when people will see.
Dana,
get Hilton off of the screen.
Get your belt, Dana.
When I get my ugly dog,
Hilton,
I can't.
Excuse me, HR just called me. They said you're on probation for lies, Hilton. She took you off the screen.
That's a great. She is the great.
That's a warning shot. That's a warning shot. Pop, pop. That's a warning. Warning. That's a warning shot. Dana said, "Don't play me. Don't play me, Hilton."
Hours back there.
So I gotta get Nala on the bop. I gotta get Nala on the bop next go round. So y'all can see the power this dog has over the human soul.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so back to the homework.
What did we do?
What was we talking about?
We saw Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. And I have to tell you, like, okay, so this is the thing. That first one that came out like 2-3 years ago, I loved it. I was just like, it was like a surprise because we had seen the one with the women. I actually liked the one with the women, but that last one was so good. The storyline was fitting. It was sentimental. The family was related to Spangler. It was just this whole thing. Sequel. Yeah, it was totally a good sequel, and it brought in the other actors. It was just everything it needed to be. And then we got Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I don't know if you guys liked it. I thought it was okay.
I loved it.
I thought it was okay. And I will tell you why. Because it took so long for it to get to the danger. Like, it was just like leading up. And then finally when it happened, that's like the last 15-20 minutes of the movie. And I was like, they should have been fighting that frozen man crazy thing. Like, I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was enjoyable. I had like I told you guys, we were at Indiana Comic-Con and we had some friends that worked at the theater, and so they were like, we got a whole private screening for you guys, and I invited everybody I could invite to come see it. So we literally were in there by ourselves, and I just walked out going like, I don't know. I felt like the jokes were forced at times. I felt like the sentimental things were. I mean, there were some things I liked. I mean, and I don't know. I'm going to say this on Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
I'm going to say this. I agree with everything that you just said, that it definitely had some structural problems. It had some pacing problems. But that didn't hurt the movie for me. Yes, everything you said, I do believe that the big bad was overblown and the crescendo of the fight was totally out of context, because everybody in the movie was fighting different battles and having these different plot, devices to navigate. where this person wasn't Vigo. This wasn't Zool. Zool was a problem from the first frame of the first Ghostbusters, right? And all the way to the end. The big bad was the big bad, and everybody was playing in the background of that to the crescendo, and it made sense. This one was more of I don't even know what the word is, where each character, it was like a character drama. Like, you got to see where everyone is and what they're doing, and you got to enjoy them in, the girl being too young and not being able to participate as a Ghostbuster, the key of not having this MacGuffin until halfway through the movie, this orb. They didn't do anything with that until the last part. And there was just a lot of moving parts. However, they were good moving parts. And I really enjoyed just everybody's screen time. And I have got to say, yes, the nostalgia was definitely low, underhanded pitches across the mound. They were really, really, what do you call it? Overly on the nose, but it worked. Even like the stuff like, that's a callback to the first one, and he's getting ready to say the quote. He's going to say the quote, but it still hit me right in the feels. Right? It was cheap. It was cheap thrills. It was cheap, jokes sometimes, and sometimes they went a little out of their way to tell the cheap joke or to hit the nostalgia moment, but it hit me because I lived through those movies. I was 12 years old again, sitting in the theater, watching Ecto 1, speeding through the city, getting hyped for no reason at all. I'm watching the proton packs going off. When they turn them on and they go, or just I get that's all that they made that movie for me, because they knew I would not be able to apply critical thought to these biochemical reactions to the we know you're a fan, here's some fan stuff. Yeah, Bill Murray's coming back for no damn reason. Look at that. All right.
None at all.
No reason at all. He's going to put that same helmet on that he had from the first movie, and he's going to tell these jokes. So I was able to enjoy it. I give it a solid 7.5 out of 10, but it really did hit me in the feels. I think that the franchise has legs. I think there will be another movie based off of the success of this one. I think they got a winning formula. I do hope that the next movie, if they decide to do it, is trimmed down a little bit. And I think maybe every big bad doesn't have to be like the embodiment of Satan or a galactic level destroyer. I mean, you can just have a really, really, really haunted house and be like, I would love to see, because the mundane is where all these characters thrive. Like going from upstairs to downstairs, watching 3 levels of drama happening between the kids and the marriage and even Mayor Peck trying to shut him down, just like the first movie. Like, I was fine watching that. To your point, I don't even think they needed the big bad. Like, if he had never shown up and there was never this ice demon with this weird Mesopotamian story, like, come on.
Yeah.
Christi Renee.
Can I just share?
Jump in.
So I agree with mostly everything being said, but I have to tell you, while I got first of all, I'm very happy with it because a lot of it is wrapped up in the nostalgia and the fact that I'm just a diehard Ghostbusters fan from the original, and remembering that time in life and just, seeing getting the glimpses of everything we got in this current film and how they're keeping that. They're being consistent with that, which they're going to have to do. If you don't do that, you're messing up. Just like in the all girls film, I think where it fell flat was because it didn't include enough of the original, storyline. Right. They just went with just the very skeleton of it and didn't build on that. And I think as they realized that, they started adding that to the next couple of films, and we got that with this one as well. And even though Bill Murray doesn't show up for any reason, he does come for the factor of we're going to all go crazy when they open that door and he's standing there and he's like with his liquor ready to get saucy or going to find it, whatever. But I will tell you this, I enjoyed everything with, again, the 3 levels of drama and all the characters and their arcs and watching them develop on screen and these relationships, and Paul Rudd can do no wrong ever in this life. McKenna Grace.
He
McKenna
saved
Grace
what movie was there?
Yeah, well,
McKenna and Paul. No,
McKenna
really.
Grace
Come on, let's keep it real, guys. Let's remove the nostalgia out
let
your
me
heart.
finish. Just let me no. I'm calling a tech. I'm calling a tech right now on the star right here. Listen. I thought McKenna Grace, and she's one of my favorites because she's from The Handmaid's Tale, and when I tell y'all, it is incredible. Anyway, she is great, so I loved seeing her face with the new look, and just I thought her storyline was really good. Yeah, building all the way up to all of that, I got even more excited when the big bad came on, because when that mofo picked up them horns and shoved them in the sides of it turned into my spooky shit, and I was so excited. I was like, now I'm terrified, and this is what I want to do, because Ghostbusters was intended to be this scary thing, right? It's part of Halloween. It's when we get into the 31 days of Halloween, Ghostbusters, it's at the top of the list of things to watch or things to listen to, the music or whatever. And we dress up as Ghostbusters for Halloween. I know I did. I built some mean proton packs a few years ago. So I lived for that. I feel like and the thing was scary. I wanted to make sure it was like super scary. So I thought that is really good. So that kind of takes it to a new level. And think about it. You got to have one of those entities. Ghostbusters reminds me of Scooby-Doo. So when you have the Scooby-Doo, you have to have those. You have to have the big bad. You got to have something that's creepy, otherworldly, because we had a giant marshmallow man in the first one. Like, it was a marshmallow man. Mr.
Yeah, but that was like the weird lady that like they were all like, that was her controlling that, right?
I know, but it's fun. I know. We had people, but they were still otherworldly, and they brought these other entities to life.
I have a question.
It was great.
So it wasn't so convenient for y'all, like, podcast just so happened to come to New York and hang out at the store. And it wasn't convenient that they brought her to New York because she was studying at the lab. Like, it just was all too convenient. Like, I just felt like that first one was so good and the story was so streamlined. And this one to me was good, but it was like, it's good, but now we got to add all this extra stuff. And we got to put this on it and put this on. We got to figure out a way to get the kids here. And I was just like, it could have been like spring break and they just came down to visit. Like, it could have been told in an easier way. I don't know. Like I said, it was a 7 for me, but I was hoping, like I went in there, I think my hopes were way too high. Like I went in there going, I want to feel what I felt unexpectedly for that other movie, for the first
You
one.
Keep doing that, and it never goes in your favor. So we're trying to tell you.
Kids grew up. Like, they are all 10 feet taller. And I was like, okay. Like, the only kid that didn't look like he grew up is the kid that, always grows up in Stranger Things. But, like, Finn looked normal. Like, Finn looked the same. The other kids, aged. And I was like, how did he not grow? Because he's always growing in Stranger Things. But you know what I'm saying? Like, they'd had time to develop and make this script everything. I don't know.
No, I think what happens with a viewing like this is that if the movie falls short of what your expectations are, the things in the movie that fall short take you out of the movie, and then you have time as you're outside of the movie in your head to think about, there had to be a better way to bring everyone together.
Yeah.
And that was a little too on the nose, or whereas and I don't know what the formula is with me that made me biochemically connect with what was happening on screen, but it was just, I was suspended enough away from it for its flaws not to take me out of the movie.
Thanks.
I've seen enough good movies.
I gave it a 7.
Well, no, and I'm a 7.5. So I think we're arriving at the same place, but I think my 7 is a buildup of positive, whereas your 7 is like a minus from a 10. You subtracted to get to your 10. Like, you subtracted to get to your 10. I added to get to my 7, right? So it's like it's
very interesting.
And that's unfortunate because, like I said, a movie like this, and only a movie from this franchise, should have the license to be as cheesy and as on the nose as they are. If they did this with Star Wars, I'd be furious. If they did this with Star Trek, I'd be furious. Okay, and they did.
Those are two different genres too.
Well, they're two different genres, but I think the world building is more of a serious thing with the Star Wars, Star Trek than Ghostbusters. We take for granted that Ecto-1 is a car that's 80 years old and should not be doing donuts anywhere. It's a hearse. Right? But we suspend ourselves to think, okay, this guy is speeding through New York traffic. Whereas we know in reality, if he had come out as soon as you come out, you'd be stuck in traffic. Like you just be like, he would go.
Yeah.
But we suspend.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, you got a ground drone, what do you call it? Capture thing,
to catch.
And then you got a flying drone, and but I got to tell you, the scene that got me, and it's probably why I stayed in the movie the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That side seat with the little girl in it always gets me. That just the
I want to try that once.
But you think about it, like from a logical perspective. If they're so worried about her being in New York, flying around with this seat that's sitting out here for her to get knocked into next week, why y'all letting her sit in that chair to begin with? Why aren't one of the adults in it, right?
Right.
But the movie makers know she has to be on the side of this car, shooting up into the sky as this little girl being super determined. That scene has to happen. So they're like, forget it. We're just going to go ahead and run with it. And that's all my nostalgia feels, all my emotional feels, because all I see is Egon when I'm looking at her.
Yeah,
that's all I see.
They did a good job of really planting him and her.
I'm just like, and then, okay, so here's another thing, and I think this might also be the animated series. The animated series got more nostalgia and more homage in this movie than any other movie before it.
Okay.
It was so much that was happening on the screen here that only happened in the animated series, that if you watch the cartoon, you're like, oh, look at the uniforms. Oh, he's not Egon, but he's got the Egon look because he's this extra scientist and he's got the different uniform like Egon in the animated series did. And there are people doing stuff that they only did in the animated series, which means like, oh, if this works, they might start drawing on that to build out the world and create new sequels. So I'm kind of like, low key excited for that. But then I'm sitting in the theater talking about, I'm the only person to watch the car.
Well, it's definitely gonna get another one. I mean, it was a hit. It's definitely like, I think it hit it out of the park, and people were into it. And we needed a movie like that. We needed a Ghostbusters
true
right now, because it's one of those things where like real life right now is not like, it's crazy stuff's going on. So we need something that's very happy, very family friendly. I don't know. I guess because like that first movie, it just made like, it was really like the two storylines that were going on were the mom and the daughter. Like the mom feeling like she had been abandoned, and they go to just clean out the house and, but then realizing, the daughter realizing, no, you weren't abandoned. He was doing something greater and bigger, and he was, saving us. And then it all culminated to where the daughter helped her mother understand her father. And even the daughter, like she never really realized why she was so weird and why she didn't fit in and why she couldn't tell a joke, and but she was his granddaughter. Like she had gotten all of that smart and all that science and all that love of what he loved in her. So for this one, it was just like, I think like, I'd still believe like, they were still trying to play on the daughter, trying to find herself and, having the one thing that she finally loved, which was being a Ghostbuster, almost taken away. And, and she's still trying to find herself as a teenager, as a young woman. But I just didn't feel like that through line was just as thick as the first one, where it was like, you really were rooting for the girl. I don't know. I just felt like the heart that was there in between all this fun stuff wasn't really executed.
You are 100% right, and you are mourning the movie you didn't see, as opposed to enjoying the movie you did. And just like Christi and I say, everything you say is 100% right. Yeah. They could have made the whole personal dynamic of the script be about her coming into her age, because her brother's 18 and she's 15. The mayor done told her she can't be a Ghostbuster. I mean, there's your plot right there. Like you could have run that to the ground. Yeah. the British have a term that I apply to stuff like this. It's called too cute by half. And this movie was feeling itself. And I think somebody in the editing room was just like, yeah, let's bring in 4 more actors than need to be in this movie.
We need some more names.
Like, yeah, the guy Peck, like I'm sitting there like, is he? I didn't even know he was alive still until he was.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that guy isn't dead. Like,
right. How's he still running the city? How's he still the mayor?
Where's that story?
Retire him out?
I want to hear. The last time we saw him, he got buried in liquid marshmallow. Yeah. The last time we saw him. Yeah. And then he made it to mayor, and I'm like, I would have liked to have seen that story, like some weird Donald Trumpy arc, like they could have really run with that.
Rick Moranis back.
I thought he was going to be in it. I was like, the way they going.
He's got to be in it.
He's got to be in the third one, or I'm boycotting.
Yeah. He has an incredible story too. But this was that would be great for them to bring him back.
I want him back in there. Yeah. Well, one thing I will say that I have to give a shout out to, whether I love the movie or not, I got to shout out Mr. Ernie Hudson, who is 78 years old, looking like a whole snack. Like,
can we just talk about
he looking like 48. Like, I was like, Ernie, like, I see Ernie all the time at
Dana,
cons.
do you want to log me out for this segment? I really don't have a whole lot to contribute.
You go stay.
Celebrate your brethren.
Yes, you go stay. And so, but this is the thing. I see him all the time. I have never known that he was 78 years old. I thought Ernie was, I don't know how old he was, but I didn't think he was 78. Like, I mean, come on. Yeah,
we need to look.
Yes, he is. I think he is. Okay. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know he got kids because I've seen him.
Got children.
And his son manages his appearances. He's there with him.
Yeah.
So I've met them, and But you're right.
Nice.
The brother's spry. And you look like he kick a couple brothers in the butt.
Yeah.
I'm
put in my request. I'm putting everybody was requesting, Chadwick Boseman. Everybody was requesting I'm putting my request in. No, but Ernie's actually really nice, really kind,
very down
to earth. I mean, he hugs and shakes every hand to every fan. He's a wonderful, wonderful person.
And if you don't know this,
floored.
I just want to say, if you guys, the fans out here in Bopland, don't know this, there is a huge fandom community for Ghostbusters. Almost what you would see with Star Wars and the 501st. I mean, there are Ghostbusters stationed in I think every state at least. Yes. But they've got they all have their version of the Ecto-1.
The proton packs are not to be played with.
Yeah. And they're serious too. Like, you can't just walk up and be touching stuff. They'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I saw them in Puerto Rico. They had
cosplay, super on the level, the detail.
You got to apply to join a Ghostbusters league. You can't just grab a garbage suit and just show up. They're like, where your proton pack at, homie? Like, what's the rotational ratio of your
Is it A++ graded cosplay authentic?
Submitted for your specs for
it is on the level. Chrissy, I'm sure that proton packs you made your kids, they would.
I made that when I was working in HR, honey, in corporate, and that was for grown people parties. Me and my HR
give her a glue gun. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it was, and I want to say it must have been the year. It was 2016, so it must have been the year when the Girls movie came out, or somewhere around there. But shoot now, it was.
Well, y'all ain't got to listen to me because y'all know busting makes me feel good. Even if I still gave it a 7. That was the best line in the movie. Busting makes me feel good.
That was so, again, it's the little things to me that make the big things. So Hilton, I can understand how you did that math of showing, you worked your way up to give it the 7.5. And then we go in, because I too will go in with that 10 and be like, then we'll just start deducting as we go.
Right.
Which is probably where I probably arrive at my 8 out of 10. So I'm gonna have that higher score, but they can't, if they stay true to the original brand and the fact that has, because none of those movies were ever bad. Right. So think about all of the movies.
All
they
degrees.
always
entertaining.
So if they kept that over decades now, like that, somebody got the formula. They might detour a little bit and get off track, but overall, you getting praise from me. I enjoyed it. I sat in them seats until it got the post-credit moment and just sat there because I was like, I'm such a Marvel fan. That's how you know a Marvel fan, when they still sit in any movie. It don't matter what
it
is.
ain't even a Marvel. This is a World War II drama. I'm waiting to see if they got another.
I'm still waiting to
drama
see. But
I'm just
going
to
watch to us.
Why did I watch Infinity War and Endgame yesterday? I don't know why, but I did.
I know why.
Back to back.
But no,
and watch it like I never seen it.
Yeah, every time. Every time.
For anybody out here watching who's wondering, it was family friendly.
Yeah.
And it's scary because I think the trailer actually was a little scarier than the movie.
It was.
Spikes going up. They didn't show nobody getting impaled, but you're thinking to yourself like, oh, there's going to be a dead body in here somewhere. If ice spikes are just going through the city of New York, somebody's going to be. They didn't show any of that kind of stuff. Somehow the demon, managed to throw ice spikes all through Manhattan and didn't kill nobody. So, you can bring kids to it, and there's no jump scares like you would see in a horror movie. But it was funny. It was sincere. It was some really, really good acting. But just like Karen was saying, it was a little more over the top with the nostalgia stuff. There was a lot of people who just were probably wandering around the lot and got put in the movie. Bill Murray's doing a cooking show at the next studio over.
No, stop.
Quick, get the script writers to give him 6 lines and get him.
And came in and delivered. He gave it till he served.
It was in character, and I mean, no, he really. Now I'm thinking he had like 8 lines. I was like, he didn't.
Yeah, it wasn't much. He didn't have to do much.
Not much, but he was there, so that was. It was enjoyable.
They planned it. I mean, what did you guys think of Kamal? Like, he was the fire.
Oh, I love him. He's just a good. I mean, he's a good actor to me. I enjoy.
He's a good comedic actor.
He has a funny. Yes, he brings that funny.
Again, another like storyline. I really like him as an actor. Right, love him. He can deliver. He can read the phone book and make me laugh. Right,
very much.
But it was like they didn't seed it enough to where we were like rooting for this guy. Like I wanted to be rooting for him to become. I think he's going to be a villain at some point.
The next film, he's going to be a villain. He's gotta be. I think so. I don't think he's going to fully become this hero that they thought would be. And guess what? And I'm going to show up for it and be like, it's great.
He can do no wrong.
They didn't give him any kind of arc. They didn't give him any kind of background. He's just like Bill Murray. Shows up. He's kind of like they throw this backstory at him. He's totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was glad he was there. He was good to watch. He's as always. I love everything he does, even his drama. I loved him in Eternals. I love all the stuff he does.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I was kind of like, does he need to be here? Like this whole Fire Lord thing it's kind of like Avatar-y, Last Airbender-y thing going on.
Yeah,
like he's from the Fire Nation now. Is that what's happening?
Strange.
Is that what's going on?
He keeps doing this, and I'm like, we're gonna open a portal,
right? What's happening?
You're right. And you're right. I feel like the desperation showed itself in that role because they honestly could have made the Ghostbusters have to use fire and just say it's kind of like they're doing the opposite work of what a fire station is supposed to do that lives in the. They could have done it
right
and left out a whole new character with a whole new backstory and.
But I upgraded the proton pack using the brass as a
Mm-hmm.
spiritual medium, which they had never done because they were always using copper, right? And I was like, oh, there's your side road right there. Like, she comes in with the upgraded proton pack and actually lands some blows. Like, okay, boom, we didn't need the firebender. Fire Lord Ozai don't need to be in this in the movie because she's got this.
He did.
That is like,
that's true.
And the other beef I had is like they got Finn Wolfhard. They got him in this movie, right? He is like one of the big. I can't even say his last name. Wolfhard.
Yes.
Finn Wolfhard. They got him in this movie. He's one of the biggest stars right now with Stranger Things, and he's like barely there. He's fighting the little green guy. Like I'm like, come on. But I'm gonna let it go. It's
they
still
missed
a 7.
the mark on those.
His entire arc was getting to drive Ecto-1.
Getting to drive, like he finally, but he got to drive it the first time.
Exactly. So even that wasn't even like he was driving the hell out of it.
He drove in the country.
They gave him his keys back, and now it's like.
He got driving privileges.
I just got the message hot off the press. They was desperate. The strike had happened. They didn't know.
They just said, to use this kid. This kid is like one of the leading, like the best things that's happened to Stranger Things. And he should have been right there with his sister, helping her understand who she was, being her friend, something, anything. Like he could have been like figuring out that she's talking to a ghost and she's like playing it like on the edge. Like, there could have been a couple people that weren't in the movie that he could have did what they did and it'd have been better.
I just thought of something.
I think so. I agree.
I really truly believe.
I didn't mean to bring y'all down, but I mean, I just had to keep it real. I'm sorry, guys.
Was the director's cut that we didn't ask for?
That we didn't ask.
If the editor had come in and chopped about 20 minutes of movie out, meaning some of those characters that didn't be there and all of that, and then the DVD dropped, and then we got this movie. The bonus material, you obviously forgive bonus stuff because it wasn't in the movie, whatever. We've seen it with Lord of the Rings. You see it with all the other movies.
Wakanda Forever. We saw it with every single movie.
The little brainy thing still got the little counter going on the bottom. We don't care, right? I was like, we watched the movie where they just left everything in. Yeah. And if they had not left everything in, and it would have been a shorter movie, but it would have been less for the Karan Ashleys of the world to subtract. But they still, even if they took some of the stuff out, the Christies and Hiltons would have still built up to where we are. So maybe the editor should have been a little more choppy.
Yeah,
a little bit. Not picking as much off the floor.
It's like a lot of movies. Honestly, that's why editors get paid so much. But it's like if you take out 10 to 15 minutes of unnecessary things, like where you're just like it's like you take forever to get to the plot, it would have moved faster. It would have been like we would have been where we needed to be. But I felt like we should have met that man. We should have met him like an hour in, and that last hour they should have been fighting for the death. And everybody should have been, life should have been, and life should have been, everybody's life should have been in peril. Like they might have been able to lose one of those kids, but then use that machine to get that kid's life back. Something. I mean, it could have been like where they would have been like, oh my gosh. And then she's like walking with the guilt of, I just killed my friend or whatever, but they're able to reverse it because they had this technology and whatever,
He stayed in that ball till the last 10 minutes of the movie. I was like, is he ever going to get up out this ball?
I was like, literally, I was like, when is it gonna start?
No, I was thinking of Pinhead from Hellraiser. I'm like, hey, Pinhead, if you just touch the Tesseract, Pinhead gonna pop out and that's your ass.
That's
like,
it. That's
it. They touching it, dropping it. They put every time they did something well, like, oh, he gonna come out now. He ain't come out. Oh, they gonna touch it.
And you know what?
Oh, that didn't happen. Like,
the crazier part, as I said before, he was worth being seen for a whole hour. Like we should have gotten a lot more of him because I thought that they designed him very well. So that was the
montage you're talking about, Christy, where they were telling the backstory of who he was, would have worked so much better as a live action throwback, where they're like, okay, that like a real montage as opposed to like showing it in these little drawings. Like, because it was like, that sounds like an amazing story that if they had put some special effects, I would have loved to have seen this guy like destroy a whole Mesopotamian empire and take over South Asia. Like, give me 10 minutes of that.
I like when they do that in good movies, though, but that means we've already seen and gotten a real huge, significant feel for that character that they're going to then flash back. Because I've loved when I've seen that in several movies. Nothing comes to mind right now for some. Harry Potter. Like when they throw back and they do that animated. So I love that, but it didn't work for this. Because just like we're saying, we didn't even get introduced. We didn't get to see him long enough to even go, well, wait, what's his story? And then see it in this animated, whatever reenactment style feel. So it didn't pull it together.
Rings, how they went back to the battle where Sauron shows up on the field. Like we don't get to really meet him. We don't see him in his face.
Right.
But you get to see the scale and the imposition so that like, the shit moment that characterizes that name carries over 3 movies until you do see him. Well, and then you're like, okay.
Well, what about this? Like, imagine like the grandma would have still been alive, like, but old, like real old, right? And then the crazy grandson goes and sells that artifact, and then she's like, you better get it back, you don't understand what you did.
There
and like, like where she's like, I met him, and it would have been one of those things like why she was they didn't give us any of that. So that's why I think I didn't care about the villain. I wasn't like, I don't know. It just, I don't know. I wanted it to be so much better, but it's still entertaining.
He got his 3 points deducted. 7 is out of 10 is still a passing grade.
Yes.
You still graduate with it.
It wasn't like Love and Thunder where I was like, what the heck is that? Like, I was mad at that. I'm still mad at that movie. I literally was going to watch it again because I was like, maybe I was too harsh.
It's the same movie.
Yeah, and I was like,
just like Black Adam was the same movie.
Yeah, or like, like I just saw there was a new Aquaman, and I didn't even know there was a new Aquaman, and it was awful.
Yeah.
Like guys, I literally missed all of it. I didn't even know. I was just on HBO Max with nothing to do and was like, there's a new Aquaman. Remember, I got in the chat. We have like a group chat, and I was like, what is this? And Hilton was like, the death of DC. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Again.
Basically. Oh, well, now we know why James Gunn got the job, because they were like, this is all we got. But this is where it made me mad, though, because I'm like, this movie saw the light of day, and we still didn't ever get to see this the Superwoman or whatever I forget what it was. What's the one that didn't come out? And we were like so mad. Like, DC shot the whole film and then just canned it. And we're like,
that one. Supergirl or Catwoman or Catwoman.
That one was or Batgirl. Sorry. Wow. Yeah.
Batgirl. Yes. It didn't even get to see the light of day. And I said, and this saw the light of day? Like this? So, anywho, well, guys, that's the end of our show.
It can't be. You just got here. It
is. I know. It goes so fast. It's so much fun when you're having fun. But, guys, we love you. We mean it. It's the BOP, the BLERD official podcast. Tune in every Tuesday. We can't wait to see you. We love you. We mean it. Bye.
Tune in every Tuesday for a new episode of the BOP, the BLERD official podcast.